Can you tell me what kind of got you interested in remote closing? What would your goal be if you got into this?
Honestly, my goal would be to make $700,000-800,000. It's not about the money for me. It's about the freedom, lack of stress, options, be able to do what I want when I want to do it, that kind of thing.
Okay. So, and I'm assuming like what you're doing right now, you pretty much have to travel a lot and it's in-person sales typically?
It's everything over the phone. It's local. I'm happy at my job. I come into an office at 7 a.m. and I clock out at 4.
Okay.
A lot of times I'm on the phone because I work from California to New York, but I'm coming in at 7. It's already 8 in New York, and so it's not really a clock in, clock out job. You work when the phone rings, but I'm in the office between from 7 to 4 every day.
Okay, so like what has you interested in this then? What's kind of got you interested in remote closing? Excuse me.
Because I'm a really good closer. It's my favorite part about the job is closing the deal. I have to close every single day, and I've gotten very good at it. That's my favorite part of the job. So if there was potential for me to make a higher income here and be able to do the one part of the job that I love, which is the sales and the closing aspect of it, that's in my will. It's easy.
Okay, what are you making right now then? That's obviously the goal for you is you want to make more than what you're making. So what do you currently make right now?
Well, that's what I was telling you. I've been between $250 and $325 a year.
Okay, so $250, $325 a year. Okay, so what would an ideal situation be? Like you start part-time and you start seeing it work and then you eventually transition over, or you switch full cold turkey full-time? Like what's the ideal situation?
So ideal situation would be for me to try and figure out how to get my feet wet with this.
Okay.
To kind of see the ins and outs and see what's going on.
Okay.
And kind of feel for what it really looks like.
Okay.
And see, I'm not going to have a problem with the sales, and I don't have a problem asking for money. I don't have a problem closing.
Right.
That's really your main issue. Is a lot of people, it's uncomfortable to ask for the money. I don't fumble. I don't stutter with objectives. If I know what I'm selling, I mean, I'm a cool character. We'll walk around the circle until either I get a yes or a no, and that'll be the end of it.
So what would you say your struggle is right now? It's just you don't really know what to do or how to get started in the industry, that type of stuff, or is there anything else?
Yeah, I hadn't heard about this until I saw the ad on Facebook.
Oh, no.
I'm not really sure how to start looking at companies that have products that I think that I would be, because I'm not going to sell anything that I don't believe in. Because
sure.
I use emotions and I use heartstrings and I use feelings to make it sell, and I'm not going to sell somebody.
Sure.
I never sold cars, because the way you make money selling cars is it's how hard you rip off the person that's buying the car. And I was never on board with that.
Sure.
And so as long as it's a good deal for the customer, I'll take all the money they'll give me.
Cool. I agree. That makes sense. Have you ever done a program before? Ever had a coach for anything like this?
Yeah. So when I started in the multi-level marketing thing, we were selling demo product at gas stations.
Okay.
And so that was when I was talking about the whiteboard thing. So I eventually got the ownership where I had 20 or 30 guys that I had. What you do is if you ever go to a gas station, somebody want to spray something on your car, your waterless washing machine.
Yeah.
I did that. I taught hundreds of people how to do it over the course of many years, and only 5. So out in California, I had an office of about 30 guys, and we had events. I had an event scheduler that booked the events, and I had an admin. The goal was 60, 70 interviews a day, so I had to replace everybody that quit that week. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But that being said, through my process of learning how to be an owner in that business, there was a lot of learning in that whole thing that you're talking about.
Okay, awesome. What's your ideal schedule? Because I'm trying to kind of understand how you're picturing it. So would you work full time and only go ahead?
My customers keep me pretty busy during the week. I would be willing to figure out probably one evening a week that I would dedicate to this for a few hours.
Okay.
And then possibly, I have to look at what the weekend looks like. I'm divorced, and my daughter goes back and forth to her mother every other weekend.
Okay.
And my son, who I have full custody with a different lady, every other weekend I'm typically kid-free.
Got it.
We kind of relax and do our thing.
Got it.
But I would be willing to do a Saturday. Are there companies? Is there any opportunity to work on a Saturday?
Oh, for sure. As long as you understand two things. A, it's going to take you a lot longer to learn everything. Obviously, I think you get that. And then two, you're going to have to be more particular with the company, because if you're really good at closing, the good news is like you have sales experience. So it's an easier sell, because I can go to a company and say, hey, this guy's been selling for X amount of years. He's one of the top closers, etc. But the downside is obviously then that company has to be cool with managing you only doing 1 day a week. So it's not impossible, but obviously like anything, the more you're willing to work, the more likely the company is going to hire you. Because if you're like, well, I only want to do a day, and then the other two guys want to work full time, it's a pretty easy choice. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I thought it was kind of, you pick up the ball when you want to play with it and put it down kind of thing. I didn't know you were getting actually hired into a company.
Yeah, so let me give you a little breakdown of how it works, and then that way you'll know if this is like for you. Typically, the way it works is you'll get trained, and then we set up interviews with companies, and then you pick the company you want to work with, and then that deal is up to you. So So what I mean by that is you would be hired by a company, but you could work it out any way you want. All I'm saying is that if you're like, hey, I only want to work on Saturdays, for example, then it's going to be a very particular situation, right? Because some companies might be like, I don't want to deal with that, right? And some might be like, hey, that's totally cool. Does that make sense? But you are being hired by a company. It's not just like closing whatever you want, whenever you want. It's like you're closing deals for actual companies, but they're usually high ticket packages of service-based offers. So examples is like real estate, fitness, business consulting, ad agencies, stuff like that, where they're selling a, $5, $10, $15,000 package, and then they're paying you 10% commission.
Yeah, I got all that with the videos. I'm up to speed with that. So what I didn't know was actually you're getting hired out.
Yeah, no, you're a 1099 contractor with whoever picks you up. I guess you could go around and you could be a contractor for multiple companies, but these companies are bringing you on to sell their specific product. Let's say hypothetically you were selling 3 products. You might have 3 different companies, right? And like you could do that. It's harder because obviously the company wants you to work more. Realistically for you, what I would recommend, and you let me know if this is where you want to go, because if it's not, then I don't want to waste your time, is either A, you start doing this and then you transition over full time when you feel that way, or B, you're like, hey, I'm going to do this part-time and I'm willing to spend these days and cut back on my current job, or you're like, I'm willing to spend weekends or whatever it is. That's the way I would see you doing it. If it's just like, hey, I want to do it for a couple weeks, then I want to stop, then I want to do it next month for a couple days, stop. Like, I don't think that would work for you and I wouldn't recommend it. But if it's something you want to do consistently, and whether it's part-time or full-time, that will work. So which of those are you kind of thinking?
I would be interested in working with some West Coast companies because when I get off the office at 4 to 2 o'clock over there, and so I would have that 2 to whatever time frame to work with them. It's 100% commission what I do. I can't cut back on what I'm doing with where I'm currently at until I'm ready to transition out of it. It feels really weird even having a conversation. Hey, my 10 years in September with these guys.
Wow.
September 16th was my 10 years. But so I've been doing the same thing for 10 years. And it's a big change to look at something different, but I am excited about possibly moving into something else that might be a better fit. I just need to make the same amount of money or more money because we're trying to save, and me and the lady want to retire. I wouldn't really be I want to retire from my go to the office every day job. I don't want to retire from making money.
Right.
This business has really got my interest. I guess what we need to do to figure out this is going to be a good fit for me and you to move forward is elite cruisers. You go through a training program and then you're placing with customers. Is that kind of how you're set up?
No, so I think you might have a misunderstanding of what you can make. You can make, if you're a top closer remote, you can make 30 to 40 grand a month. So you said you were making about what was it?
Yeah. No, I saw that. I don't know if it's inflated or not,
No. So you can, but it's going to be a full-time job. The only way I would see you doing this is based on what you're saying is either you do a cold turkey, which I probably wouldn't recommend, or B, you come in, you get training, you do interviews, you get placed, you do part-time, you start getting proof of concept and you see it works, and then you move full-time. And so let's say you were selling a $10,000 offer in a typical month, depending on the company, if you're getting 100 to maybe 125 calls, maybe 150 max, and then you close 30% of those, you can definitely hit those margins because you're getting 10% per call. So if you're closing, 30 calls out of 100, there's 30 grand right there. So, but I will be honest with you, you're going to have to be a top closer. But if you've been doing this for 10 years, it's sales, right? Sales is sales is sales. So, does that kind of sound in alignment with where you would want to go, or you're kind of like, not really?
What do you think the minimum part-time time frame looks like?
Honestly, depends on the company. I would say usually the less money the company's making, the more they're willing to deal with that. Let's say they're doing millions a year. They're like, dude, we get full-time. It's super competitive. So, I've seen people who do just weekends. I've seen people who just do 4 hours a day. I've seen people who just do 2 calls a night. I've seen it all, but I think realistically for you, you're going to have to think about, hey, do I want to do my job full-time that I have now and also do part-time work? You're going to have to work more before you get less work. You know what I'm saying?
I'm on board with taking on the extra workload to make a transition to potentially a higher income and a better lifestyle. I used to work 120-hour week.
Yeah.
I'm working a 39-hour week right now.
Yeah.
I'm a little older. I'm a little lazier, but I are there opportunities to, let's say, come on, starting, if I were to start at 4 p.m. when I get off work, so 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., but that's in such 4 hours, right?
Yeah.
So that's 20 hours a week right there on 5 days a week.
That would definitely work. So what I can do is let me walk you through the 3 pillars, and what that is it'll kind of explain to you how the program works so you understand it compared to everyone else. And then I think that'll answer most of your questions. So the first one is elite sales coaching. So in something like this, what most people do is typically you'll sign up, they throw you in a group in a portal, You're going to get very limited coaching. And then usually the coaching you do get is lower level employees, right? Which for a guy like you is going to be kind of worthless. What we're going to do is we'll pair you up with some of the top coaches in this industry. So just kind of picture guys like yourself that have sold at least 8 figures minimum, who have sold these types of high ticket products. And then on top of that, you're going to have unlimited messenger access with them. You get one-to-one Zoom calls as needed. So like you can review calls, etc. And then we also have 3 group calls a day. So the group calls are either role play or they're actually live sales calls that we're reviewing. Okay. So that's the first pillar. The second, some people don't get that excited about that, but the reason we have it is if you come in and we place you and you don't know what you're doing, then all you're going to do is get fired, and it's a lose-lose for everyone. So like we just realized, hey,
no, the solid foundation is important.
correct. Yeah. But it'll be easier for a guy like yourself who's done sales. So the second thing is more what you're after, which is what I call interview opportunity. So going back to what most programs do, you're going to go through the training and then that's pretty much it. And then they might show you how to self-source, and that's fine, but it's like you're pretty much going and finding your own job, right? Which is, again, it's not that fun for most people. They're like, I'm not that into that. So what we do is once you complete the program and you're certified by your coach, all that means is the coach is like, he's good to get placed. We're going to start trying to find places for you to get interviewed, and we guarantee the interviews. Now, the only reason we don't guarantee the placement is if you show up naked or you do something crazy, the business owner is not going to hire you, but we do guarantee to place you in front of the business owners. And the good thing about us that a lot of people don't know is we also have a very large business consulting company. So a lot of the business owners that we have relationships with, they know that we have sales reps, and so we just pair them up. So it works really, really well. So that's pillar number 2. The third one is what we call lifetime community and opportunities. So again, what most programs will do that do like sales training and recruiting is as soon as the program is over, you're going to lose access to everything. And then even if you do somehow get placed or a job, if you lose it or you get fired or you walk away, they're not going to replace you. They usually only will place you once. What we do is not only are you going to get lifetime access to the group and portal, so you can literally get training indefinitely if you want, but we place you as many times as you need to make sure it's a good fit. Our average rep stays at the company they're placed with for about 26 months. But if for whatever reason, you get there and the business owner lied about the books, you're like, hey, this just isn't what I want to sell. Hey, this isn't, as good as they said. You'll just come back to us and then we'll replace you in another company pretty much as many times as you want. Again, as long as you don't do anything detrimental, right? Because if you're crazy or you're psycho, but as long as you just play by the rules, we'll place you as many times as you want. So quick recap, and then I'll let you ask any questions is, again, we have the elite sales coaching, which again, it's with coaches who've sold at least 8 figures. You have one-to-one coaching. Okay. A lot of programs don't do that. You come in, it's a group, and then you're on a call with a bunch of newbies or a bunch of people who are asking questions that aren't relevant to you. So it's kind of a waste of time. So you have the one-to-one. The second thing, again, is then the interview opportunities. We guarantee those. As long as you go through our training, we'll guarantee you interviews, and we'll keep placing you in front of business owners till you find a good fit. And then finally, after you find a good fit, number 3 is you have the lifetime community and opportunity. So if for whatever reason you leave and you want to go somewhere else, again, we'll replace you, because for us, it's a win because we have business owners who need reps. And so as long as you're a good rep, we're happy to place you because business owners always need sales reps. I mean, it's a lifeblood of the business. So for sure. Yeah, 100%. So is there any questions about that? Is like anything that comes up or anything you don't understand that I can clarify for you?
No, I get that. Saying, okay, so if I'm really going to try this, I really need to try this. So I commit to the 20 hours a week, and I just kind of put family life on hold because this is for our future.
Mm-hmm.
Are there going to be opportunities for the higher ticket items?
Yeah, I mean, that's literally all the opportunities will be. So,
well, no, I meant higher, like 10,000 plus.
Oh yeah, 100%. So I have a very large Rolodex of individuals I know. My company's done about 70 million in sales in about the last 4 years. And so I know most of the top guys in the industry. Those are the most competitive spots, obviously. But again, if you're good and we'll get you the interviews, it's not a problem. If you want to sell a $10,000 plus item, that's going to be obviously the best opportunities. That's what you're looking for. We can definitely get you in front of those people. I know a guy right now who's doing, 3 to 4 million a month. He's got about 50 closers, and his setters make like 10 to 15 grand a month on the low end. And those are setters. So his closers are making, close to 40 grand a month. But again, they're good.
Is there an opportunity to run a center further down?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, depending on the person, yeah, 100%. Like if you go in and you crush for them, you would essentially be a sales manager. Yeah, 100%. It just depends on the company and who you're looking to go for. So like if you were looking to do that, I know guys who have sales teams that big where, yeah, you could run the sales teams. And a lot of those guys will also get a percentage of revenue. They might do like 20K base and then you get like 3% of revenue or something. It just depends on the person.
Yeah, that'd be the owner. Rerun it if you're going to make a profit sharing.
Yep. In terms of the interviews and getting them, that's not an issue. It's just, I just tell people straight up, hey, if you want to be a closer, no problem. But if you want to make the 30, 40K a month, then you just got to be a boss. And as long as you feel confident with that and you go through our trainings, we'll get you the opportunity. It's just, you got to knock them dead. There's more opportunities, obviously, the lower you go because they're smaller businesses and they're not as coveted. So it's like if you only want to make 10K a month or you only want to make 15K, it's a lot easier because there's less competition, but there's definitely companies who can pay you 30, 40 G's a month, 100%.
That's what I'd be looking for. Just a, collateral with room for growth. Like I wouldn't make a change to where I was making less than what I'm making now. Worked hard to get what I got.
Oh, no, for sure. No, I agree.
Well, what's the next step?
I mean, the next step is just if you want to do it or not. And then if you do, we get payment and start getting you in the program. If you don't want to do it, you don't do it. But that's will be the next step.
I didn't know anything about a payment. That wasn't covered in the videos.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you want to work with us, the reason we do that obviously is like we get 60, 70 new clients a month. And so sometimes reps will come to us and they're like, hey, will you place me? And we're like, yeah, we'll place you, but it doesn't really make sense for us to do it for free because we have 60, 70 clients a month. So obviously you don't have to if you don't want to, but like part of what we do is like we have two parts of the program. One is we have the business owners, they pay us for business consulting. Two is we get people who want to be sales reps and or sales reps who want to get placed. And so we kind of mix those together. And so the sales reps who pay us, obviously they get priority because if they're not paying us, it's just, there's no incentive for us to do it because we have plenty of sales reps in the pool. Definitely what we do. You're paying for the train, you're paying for the placement. We can't just do that for free.
Yeah, I didn't know if you made a percentage. I didn't know what agreement you had with whoever you placed it with, if you're getting a kickback off of what I sold.
No, we don't. So, I mean, once you get placed, it's 100% yours. We just find it's too hard to track. And it's just too time consuming. It's like, the business owner, well, we have to get inside all their merchant accounts, all this kind of stuff. It's just not really something we wanted to do. So we get paid by the sales reps who get the training and the interviews. And then the business owners will pay us for training the setters and the closers. And that's kind of where we make the money on both sides is we actually will manage. So if let's say you got placed, we'd help manage and train you to get you up to KPIs. And as long as you hit that within 90 days, then we're good. If we don't, then part of our agreements with the business owners is we'll replace the sales rep for free. That's kind of how it works on the business side.
What's is there different fee structures? Like explain the fees to me.
Yeah. So for you, if you wanted to come in, it's a pretty nominal fee. It's for 6 months. The 1-to-1 is for 6 months. And then the lifetime community is, like I said, it's lifetime. So you're really just paying that fee for the 1-to-1 coaching and the interviews. And then once you're done with that, that's it. And then as soon as you finish your certification, you can get placed. So you don't have to wait 6 months to get placed. It's just as long as you finish your certification, you're paid in full, then we'll start placing you.
So it's you get started with you.
Yeah. And that's it. Not to get started, just like that's literally it. It's a fee and you're done.
That's not that much, but I was, so let's say I pay the fee, we get going, I go through the training. What are your most common products that are on the higher end of the price point?
Yeah, so some like right here, we have a guy named, he does like Airbnb arbitrage. So it's like teaching people how to do Airbnb without, owning a home. We got another guy named, he does Amazon FBA. We have a guy named, he's like an ad agency or consulting agency. We got a guy named, he does how to do wholesale real estate. He has a fitness offer, so like teaching people, get in shape and stuff for women. Has a credit leverage offer. We have a guy named, he does medical spas. And then we have a guy named, he does fitness for men. So all those people I just mentioned are doing excess of at least $1 million a month. Some of them are doing as high as $3 million a month. So those are some of the different types of offers.
I got you. So I would be selling a product in that field.
And there's a million others, but you asked for a few. So those are like top 10 off the top of my head. But yeah, you'd be selling one of those offers and you would just pick the one that resonates with you and the structure that resonates with you financially. And like I said, if you're good, it's not hard because we're always looking for guys who can come in or self-starters. Like there's a lot of closers and there's not a lot of good ones, as you know, probably. So.
Yep. I stopped training people at the office. I was tired of training people in California. They're hiring sharp people, but they're not sales people.
Yeah. Well, when there's not a lot of experience, it's just, it's tough, man, because like you got to go through the growing pains, right? And so you have to really be patient. And that's part of our struggle, right? I mean, if I get a guy like you, it's a lot easier to get you up to speed than a guy who's never done sales. I don't see any issue with you doing it. It just comes down to like, is it worth it for you? Like I said, we don't make a lot of money on this deal. We make more money on the business owners, but it's enough that like we can cover the one-to-one training for you, because it does get pretty, you can imagine we have 60, 70 people. If they're all getting one-to-one coaching, it's a pretty large expense. So this kind of just covers that. And then we make the profit from the business owners when they come over and pay us for guys like you.
I got you. Okay. There's no $1,000 fee and you get this much, $2,000, you get this much. It's just, and that's it.
Just, man, I mean, most of the stuff I sell is like closer to 16,000. So this is like our kind of cheapest program. And I mean, our support is top notch. It's A+. We're a 4.9 out of 5 on Trustpilot. We've got 1 million testimonials. We're good. For you, I think it's like, hey, is it worth making $300-400K a year? That's your call.
Yeah, this is all at one. I mean, it's not. It's just if I want to, throw it into this, and I'm bouncing around in my head. I think I'm going to go look at the website some more and watch some more of the videos and see if I'll let you know tomorrow.
Is there like anything in particular that kind of like sticks out to you that, you don't understand or you'd like to know a little bit more about?
I fully understand it. I just, it would just be counting on you guys to hold up your end of the bargain. That's all it is. And I mean, it sounds like you do. So I just don't know anything about the company. I didn't look into it too deeply because I didn't know there was a fee associated with working with you. I thought that you got paid a different way. So I didn't, I didn't take that into account. I just want to do some reading about elite closers and see what I can find and make sure I feel like it's a good place for my time and my money.
No, for sure. I mean, in terms of like the company, like, is there any specific information that you're looking to find other than whatever he kind of described to you? Because
I just would like to see the good and the bad reviews, read different people's experiences, and see what they had to say about this, that, and the other.
Sure.
You kind of caught me off guard with the money thing. I didn't know that there was an expense.
We got it. We all got to eat, bro. We got to eat somehow.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I don't know if you're doing anything for free.
Yeah. So, I mean, let me ask you this before we wrap up. If you go and see a bunch of good reviews, is that the only thing you need to see to move forward? Or because like, if that's all it is, like I can guarantee you there's not going to be anything you're going to see. I don't think that's not going to push you forward. I mean, I'm looking right now. We got 95 reviews, 4.9 out of 5. And I don't even remember how many bad ones we got. I think we got like maybe 2 bad ones. I'm just curious, like, because again, you're a sales guy, so I'm not trying to force you to do something you don't want to do, but
no, you're good.
I'm with you. Is that all you need to see? Because like, I mean, you could pull it up on your phone and see it pretty quick. My big thing is just like, if you want to do it, I'd love to get you in. If you don't, no harm, no foul. But the reviews are right there on Trustpilot. And if that's all that you need to see, I mean, you could probably pull it up on your phone and see about 30 seconds and we could get this payment processed.
I guess I just want to think about it for a minute and make sure that I want to commit to, taking my weeknights. What I do is pretty stressful. So I need to make sure that I'm in the right headspace and that I want to commit to do this. If I'm going to commit to do it, then I'll do it. But I got to make sure that it's something that I want to do. And what I might do, is I'm slow. I'm excessively slow. How long do you say it takes to get certified?
Well, it just depends on you, bro. I mean, if you're doing part-time.
Typically, truck guy.
I say usually, like, if someone's going really fast, 30 to 60 days. If someone's going really slow, you're going to be closer to 4 months just because you're not putting the time in.
Maybe 3 months or so if you were just kind of cruising along at a fast pace.
Yeah, but it also depends. The big thing, too, is, like, you can skip stuff if you're passing certification. So, for example, like, if you get on with a coach and you're doing well and they can tell you've done sales, they're going to move you faster, right? Some people get on and it's just like, it's obvious, like they have no idea what they're doing. Is the biggest concern you have, is it more just like, what if it doesn't work or something? Or like, what's the thing?
I'm not worried about it not working. I'm really I've kind of gotten very comfortable over the past 5 years. And I kind of do what I want to do when I get off work. And we kind of have so if I was committing to do it Monday to Friday, then my weekends would still be open. It wouldn't be a big deal. I would just be working from that 4 to 8 p.m. kind of thing. So that's not really the end of the world, but I got to make sure that I want to commit to it. Me and my son do a lot of stuff during the evenings, and that's going to be on a little bit of the back burner. I got to talk to him about that. And I just want to make sure that I'm going to have my head in the game. You know what I mean?
No, that's fair.
Make sure that I want to commit to it.
Look, I'll tell you what, because like, again, I know you're in sales, so like, I don't want to like force you, but typically what I would do in this situation, you tell me if this will work, is I usually take down a deposit. It's refundable. You go home, you sleep on it. If you wake up in the morning, you're like, hey dude, I don't want to make more money and work from home and, retire early. If that's what you dream about, you come back to me, you just let me know and then I'll send it back to you. Is that fair?
Hey, what, knock off $1,000 and I'll give you, full payment
Okay.
Now.
If I knock off $1,000, you can move forward right now. Is that fair?
Yep.
All right,
That's
cool.
fair. And that nothing changes, right?
No, yeah, no. I mean, we'll take good care of you, dude.
Okay. Is everybody paid the same amount?
No. So I'll be 100% transparent with you. We used to sell it at, like, I'm not bullshitting you. If you go ask people, that's what they used to pay. The reason we brought it down, though, is we just found that what was happening is a lot of, not guys like you, but a lot of reps are beginners. And so what was happening is it was pushing a lot of people away that we felt we could kind of help. And most of the money we're making is from the business owner. So what I would tell you is if you come in, please don't tell someone you paid.
No.
Between you and me, it used to be. And if you want to verify that when you come in, I can send you multiple people. So that's, you could be like, hey, what do you guys usually pay? And you'll hear that. Just don't tell them what you paid is all I ask.
Okay. No, I don't kiss and tell.
All right, yeah, please, because you know how it goes. It's just like if you do, then we're gonna get texted and they go, well, why did he get to pay less and all that, and it's just it's just kind of a nightmare.
Well, I mean, you're gonna get your money's worth on an easy trade. So.
Well, and that's kind of why I also think it'd be a good move for you because it's very low risk. You're gonna get out of it what you want, and we're looking for guys like you as well because it's easier to place you because you have more skill.
I don't need the basics. I just need the information about the product.
Yeah, 100%. And again, like because you've been doing this a long time, it's the nice thing is it's from home. So if you start doing the traveling and stuff with your family, it's pretty good. So, okay, I got this pulled up. All I need is this is for 2,000. As soon as I get your credit card details, you'll get an immediate receipt. And then as soon as you get the receipt, what I'll do is I will text you. I mean, you're on the phone with me, but I'll shoot you a text. I just basically need your full name, address, email, and then I'll send you over the agreement. And then as soon as you sign, I'll get you inside the portal and we'll kick it off. Go ahead, whenever you're ready. Okay. Okay, and expiration. Okay, and security code. Okay, and then zip code. Okay, and 1 second. All right, man, you're all set. So I'm gonna shoot you a quick text. I got another call in about 17 minutes. I'm gonna try to handle this before, so just shoot it right back to me, and then I'll get that over to you. And then if I don't respond for a couple hours, don't think I ran off anywhere. I just got back-to-back calls.
No, I wouldn't be giving you $2,000 if I didn't a little bit of trust.
Okay, good. Yeah, you just never know because sometimes like you start taking other calls and then people are freaking out. It's like, bro, like I got you. It's just I'm on calls.
I'm good with being closed on the call. It's fine with me. So, I mean, I like what I'm hearing.
Awesome, man.
I'm not particularly looking to put too much into it tonight. Now that you know that I'm serious, I can kind of take it more at my pace.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So I shot you a text. Just when you have time, if you do it now or later, whatever, send me over your full legal name, email, and address. I'll send you over the agreement. You sign it, and then we'll get you inside.
Hang on 1 second. Just putting you on speaker. You said, so full legal name.
Yeah, just text that back to me, and you're good, and you're done. And then when I finish sending over the agreement, I'll text you. All right, brother. Excited for you, dude. You're gonna crush it for sure. I can tell.
I'm excited. I just need some more peace of mind.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Well, appreciate you. Excited to get you in. Talk to you later. If you have any questions, you shoot me a text. Okay, brother. Bye.
Wait, which number?
This one. It's that. Yeah, this one. The one I just texted you. Use that. That's kind of my business one, and then it's the one I use for calls. So that's the only difference. I'll answer either one, but if you want a faster response, use this one.
Use this one. 10-4.
Yep.
All right. Take care.
All right, brother. Bye.